Alrighty, this is a bonus track. Remember, at the virtual, we said that we were going to give you the bonus tracks. And, Sean, we kind of left that feeling like we left a lot of stuff on the table, did we not?
Yeah, I think because we want to offer these guys so much, and honestly, over deliver by doing those bonus tracks. I think we just realized that there was going to be some time constraints, and due to that, you're right. We felt like we left something on the table, and that's just not fair to them. So we're going to put this together for you guys and give you guys everything you need to increase your referrals.
All right, perfect. So let's get going. So I'm going to review what we covered during the actual. If you haven't been there, and actually, I'm probably going to put this on as just because it's probably going to be just a lot of gold. I don't want it to go to waste. So once you guys get this, we'll put it up as a. So depending on where you guys are hearing this, it is what it is. It's referrals way. So remember during the we talked about referrals being not only a strategy but a headspace thing. And there's a difference between hunting for referrals and farming for referrals. And this is something I learned from Jason Deitch from Amplified. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, I think what we do is we treat referrals almost like hunting. It's the same mentality that we do with referrals. Like if we go to a screening. See, a screening is a absolute hunt. It's you go in, you're trying to pick off targets, and you're squeezing the trigger, and boom, sometimes you miss, sometimes you hit. More often times you miss, as it was for my case. I hated screenings, probably why I didn't do very good at them. But that's a hunt. But a referral in your practice is a farm. It's planting seeds and fostering the growth over a series of time. You remember, if you have a typical close at 3 times a week for 12 weeks, you have 12 weeks to foster this relationship to elicit these types of referrals. And I think the first thing we got to understand is that referrals, especially in-house referrals, actually any type of referral, is a farming mentality. It's dropping a little bit here, dropping a little bit there. And this is where marketing comes in, not advertising, as opposed to just, getting the plantations fertile for harvest. Just it's slow. And if we start these referral campaigns with the expectation of a hunt, like at a screening, we will be severely disappointed. And I think that a lot of colleagues, you guys out there, are so discouraged by referrals because you say, I'm going to get a referral today. And then you walk up, you do your little thing, oh, no referral today. Referral sucks. I remember back in the day when I was training with during the pre-huddle, the huddle, it was, who are we going to get referrals from today? And we say, Jill. And we do like cartwheels. Yeah, Jill, we love Jill. And we go be like, okay, so Jill, we're going to say, hey, who do you know? And give her a card. And, it never worked, and
yeah, when Jill walks into the office, she feels like she just got freaking by everybody in the office for a referral. She's like, what the hell's going on today?
Exactly. Especially nowadays, that shit don't fly anymore. So again, hunting versus farming mentality is what we want to start off with in terms of your managing your expectations. And let's be frank, Sean, you've been doing this for a while too. Don't referrals happen when you least expect it?
Yeah, what's funny you said about the farming and hunting is people typically have this I want it now mentality. We want the instant gratification, and that's where the hunting goes. If we go to a screening, we expect to walk away with X amount, or we do a health talk, we expect to walk away with X amount, and those expectations are real. But in the day-to-day office, yeah, you have to farm. You have to set yourself up to be a referral-based practice. And I remember when I first started practice 19 years ago, that everyone who had been in practice for a while, they always said, you know what, the goal is a referral-based practice. That way you don't have to spend as much time and money out pumping the streets. You can actually just kind of sit back, and it's almost like it says, it's predictable growth.
Yeah.
You have to be able to farm for that, but be able to also sit back and just wait for that to proliferate and to produce the referrals that you're looking for without you getting into the position of like being discouraged or bummed out because you're not getting your referrals.
Yeah, no doubt.
It is a headspace.
For sure. All right, so I think more likely you got cut off short at the virtual, so why don't you go ahead and continue with the referrals?
All right. Well, obviously, I think you would agree the best possible way to get a referral in your office is from absolutely having a solid nailed down day one, day two.
Word.
That's where you're gonna get your biggest referrals from. Doesn't mean everyone's gonna refer from that, but you're gonna position yourself in your office as the go-to office, the go-to guy that people are gonna want to talk about. And it's no different than going to a new release, a movie, or eating at a great restaurant. People are most likely to talk about those experiences within the first day or two of seeing that. After a week of seeing that movie, that restaurant kind of loses the buzz. So that's where you really want to capture or try to capture their attention and create that buzz that they experience in your office. That's the time to nail them down, or to position your office as the office they want to refer to. The other times are anytime you do something different in your office that's above and beyond a typical routine visit for your patient. So that would be your re-exams, your first and second re-exam. Maybe when you do your final re-exam and go for second money or even third money, these are times in your office where you position yourself or you create a little bit of buzz that they typically wouldn't get on the day-to-day. So those are important times or ways that you can increase your
Okay,
chance
hold
for
on.
referrals.
Let me stop you for a second. Let's go over those very delicious and lowest hanging fruit moments on a day one,
Yes.
day two, where it is a clear, I mean, it's a blatant referral planting of the seeds. And if you've ever had any more, if you needed more incentive to get your day one, day two down, it's this. It's that the day one, day two is designed to elicit referrals. Number one, right off the top, as Sean so eloquently put it, he didn't say this, but this is what he meant, is that it creates a unique selling proposition that people get excited about. Like when I've never seen that before. Oh my God. So that type of, he's special, in itself creates a buzz within your prospect where they want to go out and share something. They may not go leave your door and say, hey, I'm going to bring some people in here. No, they're going to leave there, and whoever they talk to, whatever, they're going to say, you know what? I just went to a chiropractor. It was really kind of weird. Well, how weird? It's like he talked about this or she talked about this, and I never heard that before. And it was really nice, and I felt like I could tell him everything, and he asked me all these different things, and we have a goal of me being able to run my marathon. Well, Jill, remember, I haven't been able to run in years because of this problem, and if he can help me with that, man, I'm good to go. So that's the conversation that happens. And if I had this new drone technology, one day I'm gonna I'm gonna have the first invisible drone where I'm gonna release a day one, then I'm gonna hit the button, and the button and this goes. It's gonna follow my prospect out the door where they're having lunch with their girls, and I'd like to just eavesdrop on what they talk about, seriously. But that's the stuff they talk about. So on a day one, no, actually on a day two, one of the best places to plant or farm for referrals is, you remember when you go through after the MDQ, okay? So you said $1 million question is, which bill of drug is going to actually get these things corrected? Answer is none. That's why it's so frustrating, blah, blah, blah. And then you go over, when you have subluxations here, on your cervical, this is what I expect to see. Headaches, ringing the ears, dizziness. Great. Here, now if you hit the mid-cervicals, thyroid is a common concern for most women. So if you're talking to a male, I usually say, and this is where thyroid conditions are affected, it can cause things like premenstrual cycle cramping and irritability, mood swings. Now, it's a dude. Men are affected by thyroid issues, yes, but I think biochemically, women are more sensitive to the swings than men are.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. So I'm not saying it because of the guy, because I'm not worried about his PMS nor his mood swings, even though he might. I'm going to say it to plant a seed for the wifey, okay? And that's what you want to do with that. So especially if they have teenagers too, very moody. Also, I'll say things like, this is where the thyroid, especially in teens, it's so important to establish good endocrine system to make sure the hormones are really nice and even keeled, because we don't want kids that are really moody. Like one day they're great and one day they're like, going to kill themselves. It's like really frustrating, especially for parents. And then move on. So as soon as that's a blatant, like, I want your kids in here. But as soon as I do that, before they even have a time to formulate, like, I should get my kids in here, remember, the more they stay in the moment of not me, the lower your chances of a close. So I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to reel that shit really fast back in so that I can stay in the box with the prospect in front of me. Because remember, my goal is to close the one in front, and as collaterals, I want to get the other ones. But it's a prime example. How about the other side? If you have a male, because remember, spouses are usually the easier referrals. If I have a male and I'm doing a lower back, I'm sorry. If I have a female, I'm doing a lower back, I'll say things like constipation, diarrhea, and sexual dysfunction, or things like erectile dysfunction will cause things like that. Because I want her to be thinking about the guy, whether or not he has ED or not. Because
Right.
it would be pretty devastating for a wife to think that his husband has a dysfunction like that. I mean, I would imagine. I'm not a
Yeah.
girl, but it'd be devastating for me anyway. But it'd be just devastating. So I would want to add that. Okay. Now, if you have more intel, you can customize these things during the explanation what you expect, depending on who you have. So another example, maybe an elderly or older, maybe Medicare age 65, 70, and it's a woman that's coming in with that. Let's say that, and by the way, the elderly, like you talk about strong communities, like the elderly community is really, really tight. I don't know about you, Sean, in Southern California, but they stick together. So if I'm thinking about that, I'd be like your friends. I mean, when you subluxations here, I know you don't have this, but I'm sure if you looked at amongst all of your people that you hang out with, the people you golf with, or you people you have social club with, a lot of them will have things like X, Y, and Z. Okay,
Hmm.
referencing the community or their group if you have more intel like that. So do
Hey,
not.
hey, real quick, the community. I'll tell you how tight this community is. The elderly. We've got a city right next to us called Laguna Woods. It used to be called Laguna World or something. We used to call it. It used to call Leisure World. We used to call it Seizure World. But check it out. I have some patients. Listen to this. This community is tight. I've got patients that come in that are real talkative. We become tight with, and they were talking to my staff one day. They actually have freaking swingers parties amongst these blue hairs and these oldies. Like there's certain spas or jacuzzis within the community that are known to have their little get-togethers. There's swimsuits optional type of thing. Dude, I'm telling you, when you say they're tight, literally they're tight. And I mean, shit, future's looking pretty good in Leisure World for these people. But you know what? You mentioned something about earlier about the just before the MDQ, we talk about what each level does, and that's an opportunity to plant those seeds. But even prior to that, there's another opportunity. And docs, I hope you've caught on to this. We've talked about it before, but when you're going over one of the reasons why we got to put the curve in the neck is because of all the muscles that sit back here constantly stretched and pulled. Then we say this leads into, or this could cause headaches, neck pain, shoulder pain, fatigue, and irritability. And those 5 things specifically are said because that's what most typically people will find within their circle of influence. So those are the things that people most commonly will hear from their coworkers, from their friends, from the mom's group or whatever it might be. Those are those 5 things. So make sure you're setting yourself up for those referrals by using those specific 5. If you haven't noticed by now, the day 1 and day 2 is so eloquently and strategically formulated to put your office above and beyond anything that they've ever seen before. And to be honest with you, and I say this with sadly because our profession is so freaking weak at providing a day 1, day 2, and communicating what it is that we do. All you got to do is do that. Just open your manual, learn the shit, and do it, and you're already going to position yourself above and beyond for referrals, but as an office that they've never even experienced before or been to. And most of these people have been to a chiropractor before, I would say.
Yeah.
I know that's the case in my office.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a beautiful thing. Just do it, man. Follow it. It's set up for you. It's a foolproof system. It's proven. Just if you do it, you're already, just by that alone, are going to increase your rate of referrals.
Awesome. So lesson number 1, get your shit down. Period.
Get
I mean,
shit down.
golly, it's like, how do I get more referrals? We'll do the proper day 1, day 2. Okay, so let's get that done. If you haven't sat down, and I saw posts online, it's like I'm gonna lock myself in a hotel room for 12 hours and learn it. Like that's the shit that's what it takes, especially for you folks who've been brainwashed and over again. You guys are like dry erase boards from like the 70s that's been written on and erased, and eventually you just have this thing. Let me dip that shit in acid and just reformat your drive and just get it down and just be done with it. So enough about that. So the other referral opportunities are very opportunistic. Now, when I say it's opportunistic, they happen during your typical visits that you have to be keen on. If you are constantly, and this is the thing about being in locked mode and accessible mode, if you are in locked mode while you're adjusting and you've been doing this for any length of time, there's a problem there. You should be able to be doing your bread and butter stuff, adjusting a fifth lumbar P to A, doing SOT blocking or toggling, you should be able to do that like without being in locked mode. I don't know about you. It's like when I first graduated, I was like, it's like, God, it looks like it's so easy, doc. And I see, veterans adjusting, and like, yeah, and I went to live, so it's like, it's just your innate. I'm like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? I didn't know what that meant. But now I get it. It's an innate thing. It's not just innate with the Cairo innate, but it's become so innate that you can do what you do, but at the same time you're listening for a conversation that's happening down the hall about something or another,
Yep.
and then you seeing the opportunity and you jumping on it. The common opportunities I see happens every day is a patient that says, yeah, so and so has this condition, and they could be two patients that just met that morning that are talking about a friend of hers that has like a bowel issue, and she just went to the hospital for get this drink, whatever it is. Those happen all the time. And remember, the move there is, remember, hunting versus farming. Is if Sean says, I have a friend that just got into the hospital for like tremors and they can't figure out why they have tremors. And this is true, you're going to say this, is, oh, tremors? Who has tremors? Oh, my friend Jill. Say, oh man, I love taking care of tremors. Let me have you on your side, left side up first. Just drop it. And it's so funny when you do that. By the end of the 1 minute or 30-second adjustment, they get up and say, so you guys take care of tremors? Oh yeah, all the time. But the best thing to do is for me to check it to see if I can help with that, because there's many different reasons they have tremors. But it's good they went to the doctor, because they can make sure that they rule out all the nasty stuff that it could indicate. But most of the cases with tremors, it's a nervous system problem. Same reason you're getting adjusted. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Does this person local? Now I'm going for the close, because they came to me. I didn't solicit this. I just said, I love taking care of tremors. See ya. And they go, you take care of tremors? That's a close me question. So I'm all over it. So where does your friend live? Oh, over there? Got it. It's only about 15 minutes away. Do you want to have us send her something, or do you want us to have her call, or do you want to have her call us? Which way would work best for you? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have her call. They usually say I'm gonna have that for call. Say, got it. Well, let me give you this gift certificate. That way, she doesn't have to spend $320 on the exam.
Right.
This is a family referral. Consider her family to you, and give this gift certificate. And what's her name?
Jill.
Okay. How do you spell her last name, Sean?
Smith. Myth. MSTHI.
Miss it. Okay.
When you guys, docs always say, how do you guys see 20 in an hour or 100 a day? Because you're not in locked mode. The busier you are, the easier you can. Have you ever been so busy that you're in the flow, you're in the moment, you don't even know what's going on, but you do. You're aware of everything because you're not thinking about anything, one specific thing. Your innate's just on call right now, and everything is just you're getting fed. I can hear things that the CAs are saying at the front desk on the phone, or when the door opens up. I know everything. It's like my CAs always go, how did you know that? How did you hear that? Because I'm just so tuned in, because I'm not so tuned in on one particular. I'm not in that locked mode. So when your house is full and you've got just people everywhere, that's when you are actually easier. You'll find it easier to be in that accessible mode, and you will be aware of everything that's going on around you, because you're just not so focused in and narrow-minded on one specific thing. That's that lockdown mode. The other thing, when you give that, when someone mentions about Jill who has got tremors, I will actually say, hey, Jill, or Cindy, would you do me a favor? Would you give Jill, if I give you a gift for Jill, would you give that to her for me? And that's almost the same thing as when you, in your day two, say, hey, can you do me a favor so I can get this off my desk? Can you take care of this today? It's kind of plays into that same thing. And of course, they want to help you out, but they're also going to look like the hero because they help Jill out, they help you out, and everybody, this just goes back to that whole self-centered me thing. It positions themselves as a perfect pollinator for you in that specific moment. So that's key, that you got to grab onto that. And Dan, I'm telling you, how difficult is it going to be for these docs to say, oh, I love taking care of tremors, and then just drop it?
It's hard.
It's going to be like shutting the fuck up.
Yeah.
They're going to want to just talk about innate and the nerve system and the brain and the atlas and the
I'm
medulla.
really glad you brought that up, because that would be the hardest thing to do. Do you remember in a day in the updated day one, you have the echo move or like the obvious statements? It's very similar, if not the same, in terms of the tonality of how you present that.
Right.
But it's almost you say it under your breath. Oh man, I love taking care of tremors. So let me ask you a question. The neck pain that you have today, is it on the right side or is it the typical both sides? You know,
Right.
you have. And the thing is especially not just in that, but in a day one, day two, I find that a lot of you guys, what you guys do is that you ask the question without prepping the next question, the next move. I don't know if any of you guys have played billiards or pool. I grew up in New York City and I used to play a lot of pool. It was a really bad place to hang out with gangs and, you know, drinking and smoking when you were 12 years old. It was, I don't know if you guys know the pro billiard player, the Black Widow. You know, I forget her real name. It's Black Widow, but she's on tour now and she's same age as me. But I remember I was in the same pool hall with her and she was just a badass pool player. But when I played a lot of pool, it was like at a certain level, you don't just hit the fucking ball. You hit the ball with with looking ahead of how you're setting yourself for the next one. So you don't even take your shot until you know you're going after the next ball, like a 9 ball. You got to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to 9. So I see a lot of you guys going through the process of delivering a proper day one, day two without the foreshadowing of the next one, so that the segues are really smooth and you miss these opportunities of planting these seeds. It's because it's really important that you say, you know, I love taking care of lower back pain. It's like, I love it. So let me ask you a question, Sean. So you should already have that formulated before you actually go into that. Okay, that same thing, same lesson applies for the obvious questions, the echo move after the accidents and traumas and history. It's very, very important to look for the next one. Okay, cool. So before we run out of time,
Right.
Sean, what you got? I know you got something else on your plate there.
Yeah, just let's go through a couple more things here real quick. Guys, leveraging your staff. Your patients are going to have conversations with your staff that they wouldn't have with you. There's going to be certain things that they talk about in the lobby, and your staff has to be keen on picking these things up. And if they mention anything about a spouse or a friend or a neighbor, anything that has anything to do with the potential of getting them in the office, they have to be pick up on that, and not so much then and there take care of it, but maybe on the way out, or maybe slip a note to the doc and let. Well, actually, no, I would refrain from doing that, because I would keep it in the C's mind. Put them in position of building that rapport, that bond with them, and then establishing a position where they can get them to refer or take action on that. So maybe on the way out, your CA could say, hey, Cindy, you know what? You were talking earlier, that conversation, you mentioned to your friend with the headaches. You know what? Dr. Dan takes care of a lot of headaches. He loves taking care of headache patients. Would you do me a favor? If I give you a gift to give to your friend Jill, would you give it to her? What it does, it just allows her to come in to see Dr. Dan at no charge to see if we could help her out with those headaches. So would you do that for me? That's one way. Leverage your CAs. They're getting paid to build your office as well. So make sure that they know, but they have to be trained the right way to do it as well. So spend some time training them on that. The other staff member that has a huge position for stimulating referrals is your massage therapist, because my therapist is with those patients for either a 30-minute massage or a 60-minute massage. And a lot of these times, this is just downtime for moms, for women. This is like their time just to chat and shoot the shit with the girls. And so they'll open up conversations that, I mean, they'll go deep into some things that they normally wouldn't present or talk to you about. So the therapist is in the position to identify certain things, identify opportunities for referrals, and then at the end of the massage, same thing. Hey, Cindy, you know what? Dr. Dan loves taking care of sciatica. If I give you a gift, would you do me a favor and hand it off or give it to your friend? And so when you actually give them something, remember that sets into the law of reciprocity. So they feel actually obligated to take that gift because you presented it as a gift in a nice envelope on nice paper. You presented that to them, and they're more likely to deliver upon that because, like I said, they look at it as a gift versus just throw them a business card, something like that, or just plant it in their ear. So those are ways to leverage your staff. The one that we didn't talk about yet, but the one so obvious too, is your family health history. So here's how you do that. On day one, when they're filling out their paperwork, you've got it in your manual. So it's called the family health history, and they're going to list and talk about anything that their immediate family members have. Put it away, and you don't touch it or bring it out until the first re-exam. On the first re-exam, you're going to pull it out, and as you're done with their reevaluation, you're going to say, hey, Dan, you mentioned on your family health history when we first started that your wife Sheila, she gets headaches. Is that right?
Oh yeah, she does.
he's going to say yes. He's going to say, well, why haven't you referred her in to see us yet? It's almost like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Make them almost feel like, oh, duh, I don't know. I guess I should have. Yeah, you should have. I tell you what, let's go up front, and I'm going to give you a gift to give to her. Would you do that for me? But here's one step before you get to that. And this is so important. You're going to life affect Dan, not Sheila.
Right.
All right, so here's the deal. Dan is the patient. Sheila has the headaches. Dan, let me ask you something. If we could get rid of those headaches for Sheila, what would that do for her? How does he know what that's going to actually do for her? What would it do for you, Dan, if we could help your wife get rid of these headaches? So when you do that, you're going to life affect the patient on what it would do for them if we could help your wife get rid of these headaches. Huge. You got to remember, people are self-centered. So it's all about me, me, me. It doesn't make any sense. They're not going to know exactly what it's going to do for her getting rid of the headaches, but they are going to know exactly what we'll do for them if we can get his wife rid of the headaches or back pain or whatever it might be.
So give me an example. So let's role play that. So give me an example of how you would do that.
Okay, perfect. Hey, Dan, I see here on your family health history that the Sheila, your wife, she's been getting headaches. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
I'm curious, why haven't you referred her in to see us yet?
Yeah, Doc, I know. I should probably get her in here.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. If we could get rid of her headaches, Dan, what would that do for you?
It's funny you ask, because every time she gets a headache, she's not very pleasant to be around sometimes. It's like she's usually really sweet and she's kind, but when she has a headache, she's just kind of mean.
Yeah, I get it, and I've had headaches too before. You have too, I'm sure. We're not in our best moods at those times. So I tell you what, why don't we see if we can get her checked out so we can get rid of these headaches, so we'll put her in a better mood, and you guys can have a better relationship and stay out of that bitchy mode, if I may.
Oh yeah! Wow! All right.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. We can do that. I didn't want to say it, but
Yeah.
you said it, not me. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
You can throw that excuse out the window.
All right.
All right, Dan. Let's go get her set up. Or let me give you. If I give you a gift, would you take it home? Would you give it to her so we get her checked up on us?
Absolutely. I will be happy to do that. I think it's a good idea we get her checked anyway.
Yeah. Awesome. I appreciate it, man. Let's get rid of those headaches for you.
Cool. All right, and that takes practice, Doc. You can't just do that cold. You have to train your staff on the same thing that you want them to do. So I train my staff on doing the same thing. Whatever it is, headaches or migraines. Yeah, Dr. Dan loves taking care of migraines. You come over here, face up. How's that lower back doing today? Same thing. And with them, you can even have them close it up at the end. Hey, by the way, who was it that has the lower back pain or the headaches? And ask them again and try to elicit a solicitation for a close. Okay, remember, elicit a solicitation. Don't solicit it, but elicit it from them by asking the right questions and just keep feeding it and feeding the little monster, feeding the monster. Finally, it comes up and bites you, just grabs all this shit. That's what you want. I love that shit. I love like the instant gratification is awesome, and don't get me wrong, I like it, but there's some really cool satisfaction that comes from just planting a seed here, planting a seed there, planting a seed there, and then it just blossoms and it just becomes something that real finally, you know what I mean? And there's patients that haven't referred a soul for a year, but I still keep doing what I do, and then they finally refer someone, and I'm like, first of all, it's about goddamn time, okay? But secondly, this is how much work it required for this person. Not everyone's a whale, and you guys know what whales are. Like the people who, you have 1 or 2 or 3 patients max in a typical busy practice that does 50% or more of your referring. But they're not all going to be like that. But you want to give everyone a fighting shot.
Right, and one more thing on that whale, we all have those patients that are just great sources of referral. We call those the pollinators, and so a way to actually kind of reward them without being like an enticement is just gift them when they're not expecting it, and not after a referral, but just any given day. Hand them a Starbucks gift card, hand them a chocolate bar, hand them, I don't know, anything that you feel would it's just a show of appreciation. And so by doing that, you're just keeping that buzz about your office that they love so much, and which is the reason why they refer. So you're just always giving them something other than just the routine adjustment. Just throw a gift their way. Some people love receiving gifts, man. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel important. Guess what they're going to want to go do? The first thing they do is they're going to go home and tell their spouse or whoever, hey, look what the doc gave me today. Real nice of him, huh? So, a coffee gift card or whatever it might be. But they're going to want to talk about it. And if they if you can stay in front of them in a positive light, a positive experience, more likely that those are going to continue pollinating your office with referrals. So it's a good idea to identify those ones, talk to your staff because they'll know who they are as well, and keep those ones in front of you. Just kind of keep that experience alive with them, gift them here and now, and more likely you're going to continue receiving referrals from them.
Perfect. Hey, I think you have enough to get going right now.
Yep.
But again, hunting versus farming, it's a big difference in terms of mentality. And let's not forget the referral opportunities or the referral planting of the seeds that are already available to you just from your daily operations. Remember, your re-exam form should have something on there about maybe a future talk venue or who do you know that could use our help. There's a blatant of asking, but it's not so much in your face like a confrontation. Your Cairo TV or whatever you have posted, referral testimonials on your walls, on your website. I mean, these are all givens that you should have in place. But again, these are all little things that you're doing in every little nook and cranny of your practice to elicit the referrals. But again, I'm going to end with this, docs, is the biggest source of your referrals is going to be the fact that you position yourself as valuable and unique to your prospect that makes them think about you outside of a normal commodity. Remember, the more you decommoditize yourself, the more attention you garner and the more leverage you have for the Tweety birds to go out and tweet about all the good things about you and why everyone should go to you.
Yep.
That's how this works. Okay. All right.
Yep.
John, good work as usual. All right. Hope you enjoyed this module. Until next time. See ya.